I literally don't know. I don't. Look at my face. I don't know what's going on.
Have you seen all those videos lately? I feel like the 30 seconds total I've been able to get on social media this week, because that's how busy it's been. But when I did go, it was just videos of people staring deeply into their phone. Like, what is happening?
Like, literally.
That's the most fucked up part.
Wonder where he's from.
Brooklyn.
Should we only talk about politics this episode?
Let's do it. Let's Hassan Piker this shit.
Should we only... I feel like I'm not well educated enough. Like,
No, we're definitely not well educated enough.
I certainly can just give my general, my general thoughts and feelings about the current state of the world,
We
though.
can offer confusion.
Confusion.
Do you want to sit and be confused with other people that are also equally, if not more so, confused than you are? Because you are not alone in that. This is our support group.
Do you want to dissociate with us for 45 minutes? If so, you're in the right place.
We have a light you can just stare at.
This is the Friends Living Well podcast.
Welcome to our episode.
We're hurting. I'm hurting. The world is hurting.
I'm hurting. You're hurting. Everybody but the dogs are hurting, I think.
He doesn't even know what a hurt is. What's a hurt?
Good. I'm
Doesn't
glad
know.
there's no answer.
Doesn't know. I would love to switch fucking places with this guy. There are 2 brain cells just rubbing together in there.
Except he doesn't get nearly enough treats.
He literally peed in front of Tom and I on the bed today.
For what reason?
Well, he chugged a bunch of water. I missed his cues because Tom and Elliot walked in the door and there was a bunch of hubbub. And his cue is usually like run around in a circle. And I guess I missed it. I do think that I blame myself. He was cueing me. I didn't see it. And then
It
he
does feel like a big fuck you that he got on the bed and was like, remember
well,
how
it
I
was the side of
communicated?"
it was the side of the bed. But yeah, it was a big fuck you. So
That's how you started your day.
So I was really mad. I was really mad at him. I was real mad. But it's not his fault that he can't talk and he doesn't know English.
And that's just relationships.
Nikita's like, I'm going to find a way to segue this.
I could find a way.
Yeah. God, okay. All right. We'll do a real intro now. None of this feels real.
I'd rather start with what is even happening with you? Like, you feel better now, but
I'm all messed up. We're hypothesizing an inner ear infection for like basically 2.5 weeks. It feels like I'm concussed, but I'm not. So I'm having...
it's pretty wicked.
It's crazy. It's crazy triggering. I'm like, oh, this is my life now. I like just immediately flash back to when I was like unable to work, unable to drive, and just laying in my house for over 6 months.
God, so long too. Yeah.
You know, because the more concussions I got, the longer it took me to rebound.
So then you get afraid that it's going to happen again the same way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my body's even panicking just talking about it right now. I went to the doctor and my blood pressure was like high.
Because you've been so stressed about it.
I've just been panicking. Because I think that there's also the panic, too, that, like, the doctor's not going to believe me. So I literally, like, and I love my doctor. Like, I've never felt so heard and seen. Like, and I literally said, like, thank you so much for, like, hearing me. Because it's so scary to go to the doctor right now. Because I feel like there's so much, like, you know, and that's probably my bullshit ass, like, internet algorithms, right? Like, doctor horror stories.
No, I mean, that's a reality. I'm sure it's just like anything else. You have your good people that are really trying and doing.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've been on a steroid for what feels like ages. And I do feel better, but yeah, I'm still having some like residual symptoms. So that combined with not working, combined with
Not training.
not training. I haven't worked out in like over 2 weeks.
That's big for you. Whenever you aren't able
Oh
to
my
train,
God,
that's
I
really...
lose my mind. I'm not well. Combined with current state of affairs.
Right, this week has been...
Horrible. Horrific.
And I have like no time to catch up on it, so...
Horrific. I mean, I think it's just all these policies that are being rolled out about like, you know, we're cutting federal funding, we're eliminating DEI positions, we're like doing all this stuff. I mean, God, what Lauren told us in
Right.
the group chat, crazy.
Such big changes and so quickly.
Yeah, and people in government and people in like these in the medical field are like, what do we do? Because like all that funding, like because I work at CHOP, like so much of what we do is based on like federal funding and grants to do research to like further treatment. So if we don't have federal funding, then there's no grants, there's no research, and then we're not pushing forward like
Exactly.
health initiatives, you know? So it's like,
And also those things take years, months, years sometimes to plan in
Yeah.
advance, so canceling them in the present is...
yeah.
It's a really big...
I think
mess.
I think that there's a certain amount of like there's a lot of fear happening because like this stuff hasn't happened. Like he's proposed, I believe, or like he's I don't know. I saw stuff that like he cut the federal, like he froze stuff. Like, and I saw people were talking about like my SNAP benefits are not working right now.
Yeah.
But I know that it's been getting blocked by different like federal judges and stuff. So it's one of those things where it's like you read a headline and you're like, oh my God, it's gonna go away. But
That's the thing of right as you said that, I'm like, everything is up in the air. That's the one thing I keep hearing from everybody is
Yeah.
you don't actually know what the outcome of anything that's
No.
happening right now is going to be.
no, and I think that that's the point a lot of people are making right now is say it doesn't go through, right? Like say it continues to get blocked by like federal judges and stuff. It's still the idea that somebody is saying this is not needed. We don't want it. Get rid of it. Like that's like people are saying that's like hateful rhetoric basically. And I'm like, okay. Yeah.
It's definitely a message.
Yeah. So like I mean I think for me just where I work and the work that we do with the people that we work with and have historically worked with, it's very panicking. It's a very panicking feeling. Like we've had literal meetings, like we're having meetings at work. Like this is what to do if ICE agents try and come and like arrest patients in the hospital.
Which like you really can't do a whole heck of a lot.
No, you can't, but they're like having to develop like policies and procedures. Like they're rolling all this stuff out like as he puts shit out there. So yeah, I felt like shit. Everything sucks. I wish we could put that Descendants song in here. Everything sucks because don't shake your head. What, you don't like the Descendants? Yeah, fuck you. I knew you were going to say that. I knew it. God. Why don't you like the Descendants? Yeah, get your microphone
Yeah, producer
out.
Mike.
It's incel punk.
What?
It's just
You heard me?
It's
What do you mean?
Listen to the lyrics.
Are you telling me incels like the Descendants?
No.
Are you saying that they are incels?
I don't think that incels like them, but the lyrics are very incel-y. But I guess that's the angst of being a young teenage guy.
Yeah, they're not incels.
Well, I don't relate to them, and I don't
relate
like
to
them.
it either, but that one song about how everything sucks, it's kind of like, yeah, like, fuck, everything fucking sucks.
Everything does
Rock and
suck
roll.
today.
Yeah.
So I didn't disagree with you.
So we're just angsty teenagers right now? Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah, because our parents, i.e., the powers that be, are arguing, and there's nothing we can do about it except suffer
Yeah.
daily. So.
Yeah, which is why everybody deserves a little treat.
A little sweet.
Their
treat.
coffee is good. So the bakery we went to, I really
Nice.
liked the coffee. I took a sip and I just like was just like, for like 30 seconds.
So they're definitely worth visiting. Then.
What was that? Okay, not okay. Yeah. when we're famous enough and we have enough money to get a producer camera, I would love to see Tom react or just do stuff behind the scenes.
The best part of
and
our
cut that in.
podcast,
Cut
Tom
that
and the
in.
dogs.
You know, Tom had a good idea as a part of the Love and Relationships segment.
Yeah.
Which we still haven't done the intro. So should we get that
Oops.
out of the way?
Yeah, we should probably.
Yeah, I think I just had to like doom spiral on camera for a couple minutes, which I still feel like it's going to keep happening because we did a check-in with me and we haven't done a check-in with you. So, sorry.
I was hoping she wouldn't notice that.
Nope, bombs are going to go off again, bitch. This is Friends Living Well. We're a podcast. Two friends, best friends, wives, life partners who happen to be therapists.
Trying to survive in the day and age of today.
Yeah. So this is not therapy. This is not diagnosis. We can't diagnose you. We can't therapize you.
We can be here to support you. We can vent.
We can vent. We're
We
going to
can
talk.
bitch and moan.
Yeah, we're going to be really candid. We're going to be ourselves. You're going to hear me say a lot of curse words. And I hope that means that you still like it.
And we're just going to talk about cool stuff and be super cute. So, like, yeah.
Yeah, super cute. So yeah, this is a podcast where we talk about a lot of mental health topics, and with February quickly approaching, Nikita had the great idea to talk about love and relationships as our next series. So
Me and my stupid ideas.
yeah, I love her stupid ideas. So I think she also had the idea to do the anxiety and depression series, which we just wrapped up.
We just have so many cool
for now.
topics to talk about. Like when I started listing them out, we had over 40. So it just felt like if we're going to make any headway on any of these, I guess
Yeah.
we'll just kind of start going through them and try to keep a little bit of track. But
yeah, and I think do what feels naturally, do what I think feels interesting, and I think what's going on in the universe and like events and things like that very much will inform what we end up talking about. Tom had a great idea. He was like, well, what if I like came on the pod for one of the relationship talks?
yeah.
And I was like, oh, so like Nikita therapizing.
Nah, on the two. I just thought you meant like your own advice or opinions, but you mean to
Well,
like.
yeah, yes. But he suggested that, but I kind of thought of it more in the context of
Oh, that'll be interesting.
of our relationship.
You know me, I'm done.
Why do you deal with me? I got a lot of questions.
We have to set this up like what was that dating show back in the 70s?
The one like the blind dating one, like where like they interview the three contestants.
There was a new movie that just came out that was really good that was focused on a serial killer that was on that show.
Yes. Oh, who was the serial killer?
It's a very good movie. I recommend watching it. It's on Netflix. I can't
Comment
remember.
below if you know the name of that serial killer who was on that dating show.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Because he was quite charming on the dating show.
The Newlyweds.
Yes.
That's what I'm thinking of. You
Yeah.
know, where they kind of like ask
Oh
questions
my
about.
god, doing the newlywed game would actually be really fun.
That would be cute
That
for
would
you
be
guys.
really cute. Tom is like, fuck.
He's like, what did I get myself into?
He'll remember the fucking Cold Stone Creamery sizes, but not what my favorite color is. Just kidding. He actually knows a lot about me. I wish he would stop perceiving me, if anything. Stop noticing me.
Watch, he gets every question right. You get
I
every
get
one
all
wrong.
of them wrong. Honestly, I think that really tracks. That really, 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 really tracks.
All that shit talking.
Wow. Can they see Dennis? Is he in picture? Because he's really hamming it up.
You are, boy.
Yeah. One of our co-hosts, Dennis, is here. Elliot's laying. He's wearing a bandana today, you guys. So I might call him up here.
He's looking mighty
so everybody
cute.
can see the bandana. Also shout out Sandy Bennett, because Sandy messaged me and said, I'm catching up on old episodes and I heard you talk about me. I love you guys so much. And I was like, bitch, I love you too.
Love that
So
woman.
I'm going to keep shouting you out every episode.
Every chance we get, Sandy, photographer, Sandy, mom, Sandy, best friend, Sandy, everything Sandy.
Literally, she rocks. Everything Sandy.
Oh no, I've ruined it.
Dude, break it. I don't care.
It's really,
I need to buy more fidgets anyway.
I can't, this is so satisfying to squish
Isn't it? I've been doing a lot of that. Yeah, we want to talk about love and relationships. Talking about Sandy actually is an even better segue, because I feel like the pretense that brought this podcast together is like our love for each other, female friendships.
Absolutely. And she's always seen that so much in both of us. She's one of those people from the moment you met her.
Yeah.
She just is really good at seeing, especially the women that she's with, and really upholding them and honoring them. And it makes you feel so special.
I think she's also has really good instincts like you and me about people.
Very good instincts, yeah.
Like, I trust her when she's like, I'm cool on that person.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm also cool on that person.
I miss her. I wish we could spend more time with her.
I know. So yeah, we want to talk about love and relationships. We already did a Q&A on our Instagram.
That's right.
Which is fun. I love the Q&As. Larry always responds with something inappropriate.
But hilarious.
About poop or butts. So, Larry, I really hope the next Q&A we do, you can come up with a real question. Because I can't keep up with the poop and the butts.
How hilarious of him.
Okay.
Goodbye.
I can't believe
That's all I've got for
I
today.
can't believe you turned the microphone on for that.
We all waited.
Yeah, but before we dive into that, once again, you avoided the question about your check-in.
What question could you possibly be referring to? Wow, this dog. No. You know. I mean, it's I feel like I'm matching everybody else right now, where I'm just kind of going through it. Here we go. I'm out of here.
That was really good.
Panic.
That was really good. Fuck.
You guys know me.
That was
You
so
literal
good.
choke.
Oh my god, that was really good.
You know,
So you're matching energy.
matching energy to the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because everybody I meet with is experiencing the world right now too, trying to figure it out and process it.
Yeah.
My own personal schedule, even if the world was like, status quo or normal, my
Even
personal
if the world
schedule
was
is
great, your personal schedule is just absolutely
it's crazy right now.
monstrous. I'm curious, are you gonna share with the listeners the big life event that's coming up for you in how many days?
Yeah, sure. 20 days exactly now.
Yeah.
I will be having surgery to remove loose skin that is from significant weight loss over the past 8 years, and
Shout out her hard work.
it's crazy, guys. I'll tell you what, sitting here is a crazy thing, knowing I always knew that this was an option and that potentially I could get to this point,
Yeah.
but being here, being 20 days out,
Yeah.
having more conversations about it. Like just this morning, I had a conversation with a colleague who had
Yeah.
a similar procedure.
Oh.
And they were kind of giving advice about like how to, don't underestimate how severe of an injury it is in that way. And like your
Yeah.
body's going to respond that way, and don't jump into meeting with clients right away, or
let your body heal.
Yeah.
Let your mind heal too.
that's the thing of
How
it, right?
how do you feel mentally like about it?
I'm dreading the recovery.
Okay.
I know I'm going to be really happy with the outcome.
Yeah.
So I just know that the next like 3 months are going to be really difficult months for me, because I don't get to do any of my routine.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I have to be very reliant on everybody else, because I won't be able to even like lift something for myself for a couple of weeks, which I'm not looking forward to. And
Yeah, that's a shift.
yeah,
That's why you're working with three hands out here.
that's why for right now, right? Because it's gonna be like a hard pause on everything.
Yeah, you're making up for some lost time probably.
Yeah.
what
That's
I'm
a good
trying to do.
point. That's a good point.
But also just think about how you're going to feel like a year from now, 5 years from now.
That's the thing of it, and I know I'm gonna.
Even in the summer, even
Even summer, yep.
yeah, even in the summer, you're gonna be like, "Oh my god, girl,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
about to act up."
Oh yeah, I can't wait. That's one of the things
Yeah.
I'm most excited about, is to go lift, to do jujitsu in my what's gonna feel like a new body to me, and
Yeah.
not have.
Yeah, I love that for you.
Yeah. It's, yeah, and I mean, the doctors planning on removing like 10 to 20 pounds.
Which is crazy.
I can't even imagine.
It's like, it's one of those things where I'm just like looking at you. I'm like, from where?
That's why I had to show you that one. Oh, sorry, Dennis.
Yeah,
I was-
punch him.
like, baby boy. Yeah, because I was just like,
Crazy.
This is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, yeah, there's a lot of shifts, a lot of heavy stuff going on right now.
Right? Yeah, that's going to be a big pause in the middle of everything also feeling like it's completely up in the air, culminating, changing, completely out of my control, all of it. Like, all I can do is go in as prepared as I can be, which I'm doing. I've trained for the past, like, 4 months nonstop
Yeah.
preparing for this, so
Yeah.
all I can do is kind of, like, let go.
And let God. Goes into the surgery and is just like,
You got me. What's the Habib one? He's like, God. It's not me, brother. Not me, brother. It's-
oh my God.
That's how I'm gonna go into it, like a UFC fight.
So funny to me. I was just thinking about like the niche group of like listeners that we have that would like get that reference, but I feel like it'd actually be a majority of our listeners because pretty much everybody that listens to this we do jujitsu with or have done jujitsu with.
Thanks to our community, shout out.
Yeah, for real.
Yes, that's the big update of life right now.
That's a lot.
And Full Living Wellness.
I was just about to say Full Living Wellness is like
Booming.
fucking hitting the ground running right now.
I love it.
Like I looked at our referral list. I was like, where did all these people come from?
Yeah.
Which is really awesome. It's a great feeling.
Every day we're hearing from people, and it's
Every
really
day for different things, like one thing or another. Yeah, I think it's really exciting. I think it's a much needed service, clearly. Right? Like it's not like there's not a shortage of patients, right? Ever. But there's a shortage of therapists.
Oh, yeah.
Or therapists that are doing specific type of work, and I feel like I can speak to the quality of the work that I know you're doing and Ashley are doing, because you guys have had very great clinical experiences. So it's really great to know that people are seeking us out.
It is.
And thank you to, I don't know if anybody listens, but thank you to the other therapists that are referring patients to us, because I've had
Absolutely.
quite a few, especially in my social group. They're like, my therapist recommended that I do this group.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, we got to be there for one another.
Yeah, so that's really, really appreciated.
Yeah, because the group that you're doing is amazing. I've been so excited to promote it because I just don't hear many options. I hear it for kids, that even as rare as that is, I hear it more for kids.
Yeah.
But I hardly ever hear anything like that for adults.
Yeah, it doesn't exist, and it's really interesting to like hear feedback from people when we're posting that that they want it so badly.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I really like the idea of it. And I approach it from like a therapeutic mindset of like, these are the things that I think would be helpful to talk about. But I think like this week's social group was kind of teaching me that like sometimes it's a little bit more about like just the community that you're providing. Like they're driving the group. It's not
everything.
me. You know, so like I think it's a good practice for me to take a back seat, if anything, like, because it's kind of fun to be able to like see people bond and connect, and then me just kind of like cueing other people to be like, hey, like, how do you feel about that? Do you have a response? Like, what does that feel like for you?
Everything you just said is how I would qualify like a successful group, regardless of what the topic is that if people are feeling like they're connected, they're being understood, they're safe to share, safe to use the space, and that there's a flow to it, like an ease to it, and your job as the facilitator at most is to kind of like maybe do a little clarifying or extend on a question a little bit.
You know, and I also really appreciated too, like, I really appreciate, I think, the trust that these people are giving, like me and the other group members, because, you know, it's not like we're, we're talking about some heavy topics, right? Like we might be talking about the neurodivergent experience, sharing your diagnosis with people, and everybody has their own journey in that. And so I think that it's really lovely. I love the group that I have right now. I think that they're such a great group of people that, actually do have quite a few like similar life experiences that I think that they really benefit from. They will continue to benefit from knowing each other.
Yeah. That's the magic of a group like that too, is you can't really predict who's going to sign up or show up when
No.
you put that out there. But I've noticed that about groups is sometimes you get a dud of a group, like it just isn't a good match for you, or
Yeah, or like it doesn't flow like you want it to flow, or
we all have our days.
well, and we also have people that we inherently connect with, right?
Exactly.
Like, not everybody, you're not going to fall and walk down the street and like run into a you and me.
A
You
best
know what I
friend.
mean? A best friend. That's not always going to happen.
But there's a certain magic to groups that when it does link up and it's right, it'll like
Yeah.
change people's entire outlook on what life is feeling like in that moment, because they're like, oh, there's people out there.
I also feel like too, from like a purely selfish place, being able to talk with younger people
Yeah.
about what they want to do or what they value or what they're going out and doing in the world actually kind of helps cleanse the palate a bit of
With all
what's
this
going
stuff.
on. Yeah, because
They're like,
yeah.
I have hope and there's a future and I'm going to do this and I'm going to change that.
Yeah, exactly. Or they're just like, this is why I want to do this thing. And so, there's so many themes. These people are just,
Yeah.
my group members are so, I don't want to say my group members, like the group that I'm participating in is.
You're a member too? Yeah, it's part of the...
Yeah, like we're together in the group. They're so selfless. There's so much talk about like support and help for other people. Like so much of the conversations we've had.
That's why they need the support so much, because they're such givers in that
Oh my
way.
God, I love it. And I just love it. I think it's really fun. We got a lot of interest for the 30 plus group as well. So that's really interesting. Again, I always think pediatric. And it's funny how this actually fits the theme of like, why do we want to love? Like, why do we want relationships? Why do we connect with other people? And that goes back to the point like that we talked about probably like episode 2, where I was like, I'm so sick of people saying like, oh, you're such an angel, you're so selfless. Because it's like, I get stuff out of this too. I get the connection. I get the relationship. I get to, it's just not, it's reciprocal.
Giving back always is.
Yeah, it's reciprocal. So I think it's like, I don't know, I think it's really an interesting experience, and I'm glad that we're doing it.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. And that's a really good distinction, is the group that you're doing now is for young adults, 18 to 30?
18 to 30, yeah. But we don't have any, we have some that are a little closer to 30, but we're mostly more on the
Younger end of that.
end, which I think is really, I think it's really nice. I think it's a nice sweet spot. I almost want to change the age range. I almost want to do like 18 to 28, 29.
Yeah. Play around with it.
Because I feel like, and I don't know if you align with this at all, but like the difference between me when I was 23 versus like 27
Huge.
versus 31.
Different
Like,
people.
yeah. So I that's the other thing that is hard to, we've gotten feedback from some people of like, this is how you should run this group in this way. And it's like, there's no perfect recipe.
No.
You
And
know
groups
what?
form themselves. You meet together and you
Yeah.
go, what is our shared goal? Let's decide on that first.
Yeah, and so like this group a lot of it is like building community and supporting each other and talking about the neurodivergent experience. I was thinking it was going to be a little bit more social skills focused, and I think that there will be a time and place for it when it's asked for or when it's brought up. But I think right now it's like, how do we connect? How do we get to know each other?
Yeah. And it'll come up organically, I'm sure. Like as you're just talking,
Oh, yeah.
somebody will do something and then you'll be able to name that thing and talk about like that's actually
Yeah.
a skill, or there is a skill for that.
Yeah. Dude, this dog is really, he's
hamming it up.
He's going all for it. His little boo-boo lip is sticking out. You know, we don't boo-boo lip.
Yeah, I'm really excited about your group, and I think maybe even offering the 30 plus would be, because I wasn't expecting that, but we got so many people that reached out asking if there was a possibility for a 30 and up.
Yeah, I think that could be a really good, again, like community aspect.
Yes.
So it's something to talk about for sure. But yeah, I mean, on the love of the topic of love and relationships, I know
Community fits right in there.
Yeah, I think community is such a big thing, and I feel like when you hear about people that are struggling in a lot of different aspects, I feel like I can hear a common theme of like lack of community in a lot of cases.
Oh yeah, right. Even though we're so interconnected, that's the one I always hear is, how are we so connected through social media and our phones, but people feel perhaps more lonely than ever?
Yeah, that's an interesting, like, what is that parallel there of like I'm not, people aren't emoting more necessarily. They're more expressive. Like they're more descriptive.
Maybe.
They're sharing more aspects of their life openly.
Maybe.
Some aspects of their life.
I'm not sure what the variable is.
I don't know either. I think it's really interesting. It's like,
yeah,
we have a platform to share information, and we're sharing information widely, but it's not necessarily leading to connection in a lot of cases.
Yeah. I always go to, remember that time we were talking about like digits of things and memory, just like how your short term versus your long term.
Yeah.
And I remember, and so I'm saying this because I can't remember if it's exact, or you might have to look me up on this one, but I remember something along the lines of like 100 names. 100 names is something that you're supposed to be able to remember.
Oh. Like at any given moment?
Like that's about how many people, like if you were asked to do a list of people on average, people are able to name and remember like about 100 people.
Interesting.
And so then you think about like, why is that? What does that mean in terms of how...
Like working memory.
How many people we're supposed to engage with and have memory with or context with. Or...
What you're thinking of is Dunbar's number. Suggested cognitive limit to the number of people with whom one can maintain stable social relationships. Relationships in which an individual knows who each person is and how each person relates to every other person. First proposed in the 90s by Robin Dunbar, a British anthropologist. He proposed that humans can comfortably maintain 150 stable relationships.
Yeah, I wonder if that's like held up to be true, but it's an interesting idea to think about nonetheless of how many people are we supposed to have relationships, in-depth relationships, community.
Yeah, because I think that leads me to the point of like, you can share information on the internet, but it does not mean that you are having like reciprocal, in-depth conversations where you're actually getting support.
Absolutely.
And I think that it's easy for people to look at a number and say, this is how many people that like me, or this is how many people like know what I'm going through or support me.
Yeah. 239 likes. That's how much liked I am.
Yeah. Likes are made up. They're made up. They don't mean anything. Likes don't mean nothing.
They do. Because they do in their own way. It's like a made up concept now that we've, like this world. Because I see that all the time of people that are like, I have an identity and it's in this world, but I know it's not a real identity because I'm in the world. Like I'm experiencing.
I'm me and I'm here.
So it's just that nobody knows them.
I saw the funniest TikTok that was like a Gen Z. No, it was like a millennial nurse talking to like a Gen Z patient and trying to explain how like in order to see a doctor quickly, you have to be in like you have to have seen them before. And they were like, so you know like when you like follow somebody for the first time, but then they got to follow you back in order for you to DM them.
Shut up. That's
like that's what, and I was like, that's a great analogy.
Way to meet them on their level.
That's great.
You just met them on their level.
But it goes to show like how much of our fucking brains are like wired and like tapped into like this false universe of relationships and like what they actually mean, which is also why like I've always made this argument when it comes to like online dating, when you are meeting people or you're talking to people that you have no real social ties with, there's really no glue binding you to like treat each other like as a real person. I've always made that argument of like, if you met somebody online and y'all had maybe some mutual friends or like more social connections,
yeah,
I would argue that maybe you would have better interactions. I would like to think that. Or maybe you wouldn't have that person maybe disengaging or behaving in a specific way. I feel like social ties might connect people more.
like how they use social media.
No, I mean like so say I match with somebody on online dating specifically.
Yeah.
And maybe we have mutual friends or people know of each other.
Yeah.
Maybe I might connect with you differently.
Oh, heck
And
yeah.
I might stay connected to you. Whereas if we have no social ties, I don't know you. You're not really a person to me. You're a face on a screen and a like. That I don't have to treat you like a real person.
So how attached you get or how real you make them? I never thought about that way.
Or just how you treat the other person. Like, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like in my mind, there's a certain amount of like, if we knew each other, like really knew each other better, we wouldn't be ghosting each other. We wouldn't be like not responsive. Like, we wouldn't be doing these things to each other.
That feels true to me. Just if you somebody, it's the same thing they tell you if you're kidnapped, right? Like the moment you are
Personalize yourself.
humanize yourself.
Yeah.
Tell them like, I'm this person. My best friend's name is this. My mom's name is that. Like, so that way you are a real person
Yeah.
to them. So yeah.
But the internet like depersonalizes you. It's like so much information and it's supposed to be completely personal, but it's not at all.
Yeah, and it can feel like a big attack too. I was just wondering, like, how does that affect that too? Because you go on there and, I mean, the internet is known as a place that you can either get the most support, more support than you ever thought you could in the world.
Yeah.
Or you can be brutalized.
Yeah, canceled,
Yeah,
if
cancel
you
culture.
will. Yeah.
Cancel culture.
Very interesting stuff. So, yeah.
Love, relationships, community.
Yeah, really important stuff. I feel like that's also another reason like why we've like nonstop like preached the cult of jiu-jitsu is because the community drew us in.
Oh, yeah. I feel like that's what everybody will say
Yeah,
about
100%.
jiu-jitsu in total. If you ask them what's your favorite part, they will say it is that.
Yeah.
It's the people you train with, the community that you're.
Yeah, it's the family. Tom and I just watched the 20-minute Juggalo documentary on YouTube. And every single person, it's free on YouTube. There is nudity. So
That
this
is good
a warning.
community, though.
Every single person, they're like, doesn't matter if you're straight edge, if you're doing drugs, what your race is. There's
You're a
no
weirdo.
bigotry here. We are family. Whoop whoop.
Hell yeah.
We watch. It is so fascinating. So fascinating. I love that documentary. It's only 20 minutes. It's like you blink and it's done. But it is like a glimpse into like a culture of people that you don't run into every day.
I just get fascinated by that whole idea of like, why do we come together in groups? Why are we drawn to that? How that's such a good thing. Like Juggalos is I feel like it's such a good example
God.
because it's so silly and so fun
is.
and such a free thing. And it's so long lasting now too. It's like,
Yeah, it's not. That's Juggalo culture will not die.
it's been around forever now. I feel like my entire life. I feel
And
like
Tom,
Juggalo
like,
culture has been
low-key,
around.
like, loves Juggalos because he's like, dude, they're just, like, really, like, nice, fun people that, like, just like to party.
Every Juggalo person I've ever met has been one of the nicest human beings I've ever met in my
Literally,
life.
they just love each other.
Yeah.
They love
Shout out.
everybody. Damn, are we Juggalos?
Did we just... Are we about to
Are
get
we
tattoos?
Juggalettes?
Juggalettes.
Am I about to get my stomach tattooed to the
We're
ground?
juggling it. Oh, shit.
No. I will not let 2025 turn me into a Juggalo.
I don't know, man. It's a time of change and evolution, and maybe that's where we need to go. No other place
That
feels
next
safe.
in the evolutionary, like, schema.
I want to try it for a weekend. That's all I'm saying.
I said to Tom, can we go to the gathering? And he was like, absolutely not. He was like, what about Keaton? I was like, that's Keith's nightmare. B? He was like, Yuri could go. And I was like, you think Yuri's going to let Nikita... Oh yeah, he said Yuri dropped Nikita off. I said, you think he's going to let her 10 feet from the gathering?
Maybe if he can see me from the car. If he can park the car and have visuals on me, he'd be okay with
He won't
it.
even drive us into Philadelphia.
No. That man was mad last weekend that I drove into the city.
Goodness gracious. That is his nightmare. Although I could picture his shit-eating grin that it would be plastered on his face.
I think he
the
would
whole
find
time.
he would probably become the king of the juggalos. They'd be like, this is the nicest, Vikingest of
I
men
think
that
he
we have
would,
ever.
like, end up like bench pressing like 4 juggalos or something at one time.
A village of juggalos.
Yeah. Why are you staring at her face?
You're perfect.
Lay down.
You're perfect.
Lay down. Don't sniff my armpit. Lay down.
He's like, Mom, I gotta smell your stress hormones.
Lay down.
There you go.
Thank you.
Butt has room now.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know how we got there, but it doesn't matter because
We were talking about the heart and the soul.
oh, we were
of
talking
people.
about community and heart and soul, and I brought up juggalos.
Yeah. Sponsored by your local therapist.
Yo, sponsored by Fago. Honestly.
Kelsey's Michigan is showing.
Yeah, I didn't realize Fago was like a Michigan thing, but it is also a Juggalo thing. And that was like, Tom has watched, so we're watching this 20-minute documentary. I'm commenting on the guy that's spray painting the other guy's face. Spray paint on his face.
Yeah, brotherhood.
Brotherhood. And the pregnant lady smoking cigarettes.
Well, she's living her life.
She's living her true
life.
family, okay? You know what Tom comments on? He's like, oh, so much wasted soda. He's like, oh, it's this dry soda. Like,
There she goes, lying on me again. Oh, look at Kelsey with the propaganda again.
The newlywed episode
I
is beginning
said,
now.
look at all that. Imagine all that soda getting all over your body and drying on you.
yeah,
Mess. Gross.
yeah. But I just think it's
Not
funny.
not wasted.
Is this your guys'
It is a waste,
foreplay?
but-
Just talking about soda being sticky on each other?
No, I just like giving Tom shit, I guess. I'm not lying. I just think it's funny that I was commenting on the inappropriateness of a pregnant woman consuming nicotine cigarettes, and your comment was about soda.
I mean, it's not the nicotine that's the problem. It's just the smoke inhalation that's probably not the best.
And the chemicals. Yeah, it's the chemicals in there. This is why you should smoke American Spirits. No, I'm just kidding. Cut that out.
This podcast is sponsored by.
No, I actually want this podcast to be sponsored by people doing martial arts.
That's such a good crew neck, too.
Sean, I see you, buddy. I want you to come on the podcast. Get
Yes. You did mention that just before we started.
I love
It's you.
because I love your gear, and I think you're a really smart, awesome person. Sean runs People Doing Martial Arts, so he takes a lot of photos. He's a videographer. He shot our promotions
Yes.
for us, which was really nice. He stepped in after Rue passed, and we did promotions.
He
and,
did an awesome job with it, too.
super nice guy. His wife just got her doctorate, and she fucking rocks at jiu-jitsu also. So
I want to meet her. That's cool.
I feel like I've rolled with her one time, and I gotta bet you she's like $125, and she felt like a 200-pound man on my
Love
body.
that.
So
She knows what she's
she
doing.
rolls with Cindy a lot, and Cindy's very heavy.
Yeah.
So yeah, this I want this to be our first sponsor. No, actually, I want Olipop to be our first sponsor. I want People Doing Martial Arts to be our second sponsor. I want Topo Chico to be our third sponsor.
I made your day finding those.
I literally drink one a day. Like, I drink one in the morning. I put a little lemon slicey in there.
When you're feeling fancy.
I feel a little fancy, and like when you drop the little lemon slice in there, the fizzy noise it makes. He's gonna have to do some real like noise reducing because I've like cackled directly into the microphone a lot this episode.
Just breathing real hard.
Yeah, I just I don't care. I just don't care anymore.
Just giving Timothy something to do.
January is literally the longest month ever. I can't believe it's the last day of January when we're filming this because it feels like we fought two wars.
It's been a whirlwind.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind.
Glad it's gonna be.
Yeah. So I guess in the next episode we'll actually have to go into love and relationship.
How long have we been doing this? Oh my god, really? Okay.
Yeah, I know. All right. Dennis has broke his neck like 50,000 times.
Well, one thing I guess I will touch on because I've thought about it a few times is I know that right now is really heavy times, obviously, and there's so much systemic stuff happening, so it feels so big and looming and impossible to do anything about. And I had a number of sessions this week with people that are really strong advocates in one way or another, and they all said the same thing, and I think they're really right about it, which is there's things you can do in your own community, probably right around the corner. And in the face of feeling very overwhelmed by all the things you can't do, it can be very helpful to just ask yourself, who is somebody I can help that's in my own backyard today? And there's a lot of ways you can do that.
There's so many. Yeah, maybe we should link some like local Delco organizations. I was thinking about DAP Delco. I would really like to volunteer with them, work with them through Full Living Wellness.
It's a great idea.
So yeah, I think that that's a really good reframe. You know, in this uncertainty, anxiety-ridden world, it's easy to get lost in the what ifs and what's going to happen.
Lost in the sauce.
Lost, we're lost in the sauce.
We are the sauce now.
What kind of sauce?
We are the sauce now.
But like what kind?
Us sauce.
I was thinking honey mustard.
No, I knew we weren't going to agree on any of this, so that's why I didn't even want to get into it.
Really? Just throw one out there. I know it's not going to be ranch.
It's definitely not going to be a ranch. I'm going to go with sriracha.
Okay. We're lost.
Honey sriracha at that.
Ooh, I'm not mad at that. We're lost in the sauce, so we need to focus on people that we can help.
Yes. Like just even checking in on one another.
Hell yeah.
Volunteer for stuff. Go donate old blankets and like anything that you can do. Like clean up your neighborhood. Go check in on a neighbor that you know doesn't really have anybody. Go volunteer to walk dogs at an animal shelter.
Yeah.
There's just
or
a lot of...
Or if you have like coupons or things like that could help people that, you know, may or may not be impacted by SNAP. What else am I thinking of? Donate food.
Donate food. Check in on people.
Yeah.
Just love on people. Just give people love. Let them know you're thinking of them. Let them know they're not alone.
Yeah. I feel like I saw, you know, I feel like I've heard many activists say this, but like, you know, the act of love is radical. Like that's advocacy.
It is.
You know? So we have to reframe and try and focus on those things.
Hell yeah. Especially in the face of all this stuff. It kind of feels like that's the only thing that is real is...
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it. So it sounds like if we were to end the episode there and say, let's reframe. What? It's 45 minutes. Why'd you give me that look? Because I shouldn't end the episode.
And that's the end of the newlyweds. Love the shit out of you guys.